So, welcome to the MAREG experience. Today is a special episode. It's the first non-real estate related episode, and it's with the marketing hunters. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're excited. I mean, we dabbled in real estate already, so it could be a real estate.
Yeah,
it's up to you. Completely up to you.
We definitely can talk real estate, but as the marketing hunters, tell us a little bit of who you are and what you do. You want to go first?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is John, guys. I'm the sales director for the Marketing Hunters. I've been with the company now going roughly on like 2.5 years, close to 3 years. Before this, I was a sales director for AT&T. So I had a background in sales for some time before I partnered with Ruben and started growing the Marketing Hunters, and been back in El Paso in this journey now for about 2 years, where we've been kind of messing with the market and seeing what we can do here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm the owner, Ruben, founder of it. We started about 4 years ago. The main thing that we do is we really focus on like the psychological part of marketing.
Okay.
What gets people to stop scrolling, what gets people to pay attention. I mean, like one of the worst things is like you spend 2 to 3 hours on marketing and then you get nobody to like it, right? And it's just like you spend all the time and people don't like it. Like that's like the worst thing. So we really focus on what is human psychology, what makes people stop, get influenced, and then finally buy.
Okay. Stop, get influence, and finally buy. So you guys, I'm assuming, work with different companies here in El Paso, helping them out with their marketing. Is it just, social media management? Is it video? What is it? Give me a little bit more about that.
Definitely. So I think when people talk about us, our strength is short form video content. But what we're able to provide for a lot of our clients is everything from strategy to how to actually become the authority in your figure, right? The support system. I know for a lot of business owners, it's just like, I don't have the time for marketing, right? It's just, that's to put on that hat. What we're trying to do is, we'll take it off your plate completely. That way you run your business and you know that you have a marketing team behind you that's helping you with it, right? So the good thing is that I think a lot of marketing companies normally niche down. Right now, we've had, luckily, the opportunity to work with a variety of different businesses, whether it's entertainment, real estate, solar, personal brands, or they want to be on stages, right? Everybody is a little different, but I think our strategy has worked for them, and it's allowed us to work with a variety of different businesses.
Yeah,
awesome.
There's a crazy statistic right now. It's sales. Especially if you know sales, you know that it's 7 times that you would have to like call somebody from the initial one, right? Like you would have to call 7 times, and then finally on the 7th time they'd be like, all right, cool, like I know you enough. Recently, it was you had to see that person 7 times. Now it's you have to see that person 7 times in 7 different places.
Okay.
So before it was like 7 times social media, you're good. Now they have to see you social media, billboards, text, email. They have to see you like on the sidewalk, like on a bench or something like that. Like it's everywhere. You literally have to be everywhere before people trust you enough. So that's kind of what we help with. We do a lot of that other stuff. We help promote, whether it be like flyers, email blasts. We recently got into like text blasts. Those have been doing like really well. They're stupidly expensive just because they're so new, but they work. So a lot of that stuff.
Perfect. Now, one thing, when we last spoke, you were telling me about this event that you guys are bringing to El Paso, in which you're bringing, can you say who the keynote speaker is yet, or no?
Yeah, thankfully he's announced already. Our full lineup is announced.
Okay.
So it's Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott, we call him the next Grant Cardone, and a lot of people, that's kind of what he's known for in the industry. He started in the car space, teaching people how to maximize in the car world, and he's branched off now to teaching solar, insurance, and a bunch of other industries, and kind of in the same pathway that Grant Cardone was.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wanted to focus on someone that was going to bring value to the community, someone that was new. We both go to out-of-town events quite a bit, right? Like your Miami, Las Vegas, all those conferences. And we noticed that it's a big difference to what the type of events look like here in El Paso. So we wanted to bring that experience, and we felt like we needed some outside talent plus some local talent to be able to provide that experience. And Andy Elliott was a great fit for what we wanted to accomplish. So we're excited to introduce him to the community. We have seen that he is pretty new to a lot of people. So if you haven't heard of him, definitely recommend checking him out. Like, that dude is a killer sales guru when it comes to it.
Yeah, I think he was like 780,000 in car sales, and it was in high-end car sales a year. That's what he sold. Yeah, and that he got it in like a salary for the year, 780,000.
That's great. Who else is on this? Who else is on this lineup for your event?
So we went really broad, right? The main 3 are people that can teach you about money or financials. Okay. It's sales, and then it's leadership. So we have like her name is Courtney and Brad. Courtney lends people anywhere from 5,000 to 30 million. Brad helps you get in front of investors. Like his students are out in like Saudi Arabia. I think one of them was 30 million.
Yeah, so they do a lot of oil funding.
Yeah.
So he teaches you how to like structure it and how to present those pitches. That way, you can get investors, right? So he has students ranging from all around the world, and like you mentioned, he had some students out in Saudi Arabia just collecting. Creating a fund. So we're bringing him down. We also have Rocky Garza. Rocky Garza is more like an identity coach. So like people that are struggling and maybe feel like, hey, I'm lost on where I'm going, or, there's certain questions that I haven't been able to answer myself. He's a great person to listen to. And then we also have some great local talent like Dean Innes. We have Dean coming out. Yeah. He'll be talking. He'll be having a section as a keynote speaker. We also have a millionaire panel, which we have Eric Gomez coming out, as well as Marcos Ramirez. So it's a very diverse group, and it's called The Moment. The goal is for you to have one specific moment there that changes the direction of the path that you're on, right? Whether it's you learning a skill, making a certain connection, making a certain partnership, just getting a new client, like whatever it might be, we want it to happen in that space and provide that space for people.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. What do you think inspired you guys to bring an event like this? Because it's not, bringing speakers and setting up a venue and renting a venue and having to promote it and sell it and things like that, that's definitely not an easy task. What do you think led you guys to say, this is something we want to dive into?
There's I think everybody knows El Paso has like so much potential, but I've seen that people really kind of I don't know if I can cuss, but I'll use one. That's it. It's kind of half-assed, right? Okay, it's kind of half-assed, right? Like they do like a really big thing and then they draw back.
Okay.
And like, so you guys with your realtor parties, you guys do great. Like you don't hold back, right? But you see like other people who try to do the same thing as you and you're just like, what are you doing, man? You know what I mean? Like, why did you put all this money into marketing and everything and then you just have people in a room? You're like, where's the fun? Where's the entertainment? Where's the, like, what are you doing for people? So I think that's kind of what we saw is like, nobody's really trying in that space of like entrepreneurship, bringing people together, bringing people into the town, bringing the attention to El Paso, you know what I mean? And so that's what we're just like, well, if no one's going to do it, like, we'll just do it. And if we do it right, we do it right. And if we do it wrong, then at least we freaking tried,
Yeah.
But the whole conference thing is meant to be just a show. Like it's supposed to be a performance for everybody. It's supposed to be theater. So we're just going to make it as fun and entertaining as we can.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Have you been, I know that you mentioned kind of going to Miami, Las Vegas. Have you been to like a Tony Robbins event or anything like that? Because I know that they're very high energy. Is that kind of what you're trying to replicate here?
So I haven't personally been to a Tony Robbins event, but I am a big fan of like his content. I would say that's definitely one of the people that we're trying to align with, right? Personally, I've been to Grant Cardone's events. I think that was one of the first ones that I got open, like really opened up my mind. And this dude started with him jumping out of a plane. Like literally the show.
We're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that, right? No. But I was telling him, it goes to show like.
Who jumped out of a plane?
Grant Cardone, yeah.
Oh shit!
He opened
was that at the Miami?
In Miami?
Yeah, the Miami.
Yeah, when he did it in
Marlins
the
Stadium.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
so
okay.
he started that show jumping out of a plane, and then I believe Snoop Dogg came out and was like the opening performance, right? And I was like, damn, this is a business conference, right? And it felt like it was a conference, like a concert. So that's kind of like what started planting the seed of like the idea of it. So we do want to match that. It's like we want there to be surprises. We want there to be things that people weren't expecting, right? I mean, people think that I'm going to go sit in a room and learn, which is what most people expect from these conferences. But we want them to come out like, damn, like that was something different. Like I would have never expected that type of experience from this type of event.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you hit the nail right in the head, right? The fact that we have a lot of people, the attention span with everything going on in their life and in their day to, am I really going to go sit in a room am I going to give my hard-earned money to sit in a room and learn versus am I going to sit in a room and be entertained and get a good message from someone and take something that was worth that exchange of my money for the experience or like you said, for the moment, the one moment that's going to change you. I think that's something that's really, really cool. Did you see the last Grant Cardone one? I think he had Tom Brady there. He had the former President Trump. Just those things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So what's kind of like I know this is going to be the very first one, but if I know you guys the way I think I do, I'm pretty sure you guys have a 5-year plan, 2-year plan. What is your goal with this Moment conference that you're kicking off? I'm pretty sure you're already thinking, right, this is where we're gonna kind of take it.
Yeah, John will give you the more correct answer, right? Like the 5-year, 2-year plan. I just want to make it as ridiculous as I can and as big as I can, you know? So same thing, like we would try to get like the same type of like personalities. But I mean, we were trying to get, who was like Hermosi was one of them. He's like a big one, but like they're so far ahead that like one, people wouldn't know them. And then even if we invested them, they're like, oh, cool. Like that guy was cool, but like have no idea who he even was, you know? But no, I think the biggest thing for me is like, I just want to make it really fun and exciting, right? Like I think that business is so like black and white, you know what I mean? Like this is this and then this is this, and it's just like, well, we can have fun, you know what I mean? Like and so even right now, one of the big goals for this one, which will translate to the next one, right, is we are reaching for 400 to 500 people, with about 20% of them being from out of town.
Okay.
For the next one, we're going to go to 1,000 people, and I want like 50-50, you know what I mean, at that point. But right now we have people like California, Seattle, we have Arizona, Tennessee, Chattanooga, we have Miami, we have people from Canada coming in. I have someone from Spain. So we're trying to reach as much as we can and just bring them here.
And these people that are coming from out of town, are they like people you know, or people that you're reaching through the marketing that you guys are doing for the event?
Both.
It's both, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of them I know, and then some of them is through people that they know that they just happen to invite, and it's just become this whole thing.
Okay.
So it's been really cool.
Well, it's definitely something that we're definitely looking forward to, coming to El Paso, you know, something different, something cool, that I'm definitely going to enjoy when I attend. Now the marketing hunters, I know that you're the owner and you're the sales director. How did it start, or where did it start from?
The short answer is I was working in manufacturing for about 8 years, and I was working under this dude that like was really hard to work for. Persian dude, probably like mid-40s.
Okay.
Very old school mentality that like, you know, like abuses you verbally, and then he's like, why aren't you talking? And you're like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to say? So I was the only one that could stay with him, and he was like, oh yeah, you know, everything's good. We're gonna get a bunch of like sales, and then eventually, like, you know, maybe I might let you in. And then he sells the company after 8 years. I'm like, you motherfucker, dude. He gave me $5,000. When my kid was born, he gave me $7,000. When he sold the company, he gave me $5,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was like one of those things where it's like really like everything that we work for. And so after that, derailed for about 3 months. Went to a conference actually, right? Grant Cardone was at that conference. One of his, you know, like how they have the licensees or whatever. He was there. I got him as a coach, and he's like, dude, you know, you paid me X amount of money. If you start your own company, write it off. You get your money back. I'm like, I don't know if I want to start a company for that reason, you know? So I made a list of everything, and I was like, I don't want to do like, you know, physical labor. I worked as a chef for like 2 years, and I was like, I didn't like that, you know? So I was like, I'm not going to do any type of physical labor, stand on my feet type of stuff. Decided on a marketing company, had a horrible name. We called it the Social Hunters for about a month. Then I was like, it seems like we're going after people's social security numbers. I was like, we don't want that. So it was like, we can't do that. So we came up with Marketing Hunters, and then that's pretty much how it started.
Awesome. And then when do you guys come together and start working together? Because I mean, you guys seem to have very good chemistry with each other, you know? So I think that's definitely something that's necessary for a business to survive. You know, the people that you surround yourself with in the business, from, you know, your teams, your different departments that you have. So when did you guys come together, and how has that partnership been working for you guys?
I'll let John say it, but we still have no idea how we met, just so you know. No idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like there's no, because I felt we met at an event, but we haven't been to the same event apparently. So it was like, okay, I guess I was wrong on that. But we came across each other through inner circle, like online circles. Where there was some social media groups that talked about sales and like mindset and things like that. So I knew of him. I was kind of a fan of what he was doing from afar. And I was in a position where I was living in Midland, Odessa, working for AT&T. And I was at a point where I was like, yo, I don't want to do this corporate thing anymore. I was building someone else's dream, right? So I was like, I want to take a switch. So just good timing, right? He was looking for someone to join as a salesperson, and we got connected. And he was living in Phoenix at the time. I was in Midland, and I was in the process of deciding whether I move here, move somewhere else. And I came back to El Paso. He came down, and we did our first event. So this isn't like just, hey, let's do an event, you know? We've been working our way up to this by doing some smaller things throughout across the community. And so when he came down for the first event we had, he liked it and was like, hey, this seems like somewhere where we can plant our seed, like kind of start growing, you know? And we did another one. He brought his family down, and his wife was like, "Yeah, let's move it." So the whole operation moved to El Paso. But for me, being from here, it's been pretty cool because like the moment it's happening here, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these events that we're doing happened here, and if once the moment shows success, then that's going to be an annual event that we'll get to call here in El Paso, right? That people will get to experience. So I think that's been the cool thing about this whole journey is that it's happening here in the hometown.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
I agree.
You're not an El Paso native?
California.
Oh, wow. So then it was.
Yeah.
They're like, get off the show.
No, I mean, it was true commitment to come and move. Like he said, bring your family, bring your wife. You mentioned you had a kid and all of that. Bring him over here. Then for the dream or for the hopes of this business really being something that is going to be successful, because you kind of put all your eggs in the basket. There's no as they say, you burn the ship. And we're only moving forward with it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that's very, very commendable. Outside of the marketing hunters, what is it that you do for fun, man?
Nothing. I like work. That's
Yeah.
about it. That's all I do. It's pretty much work. I like my son and my kids keep me busy, right? I have 2 kids now. So it's pretty much work and then family and then pretty much more work. I read a lot. I read way too much. I think that's pretty much it. Like, I'm just stupidly obsessive with learning and like getting better, and the gym. I feel like that's like the interview question when they're like, "What's your weakness?" and you're like, "I care too much," but that's the reality of like I'm
My
pretty
weakness
boring
are
because
my
like that's all I
strength.
care
I'm too
about. Yeah,
strong at
yeah,
times.
exactly.
And yourself, John, I know that you have some other venture outside of this, which is the Mazo Vibes.
Correct, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the Mazo Vibes.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more balanced. Outside of work, I like to disconnect for a little bit. So I have the Mazel Vibe project, like you said. We've had that going on now for a little over 10 years, but realistically, we've been back at it for the past about 3.
Okay.
So it's a tech house DJ group, and we've recently, for the past like 2 years, been producing music. So that's been a goal of ours to start touring and getting the name out there. So once Marketing Hunters, I clock out of Marketing Hunters, I go work on that project. So it's a balance of music and business.
Music and business. I mean, I feel work-life balance. A lot of people say, you really have to have it. I don't have much work-life balance, like you said. I drop off the kids in the morning. I head to the office. I do what I got to do here in the office. And then 5, 6 in the afternoon, I'll clock out. I put the kids to sleep, and then it's back on the grind. And you can ask Christian, and he's off camera here, but I'm texting him sometimes at 8, 9 in the morning. Sometimes I wake up, because I do wake up at 4:45 every day. Well, that's when I have my alarm.
Yeah.
Not necessarily wake up, but I start thinking of different stuff. And last time it's like, hey, don't send me anything at 4.
Yeah.
Like, let me rest.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily believe in the work-life balance. I believe in just when it's time to work.
Yeah.
And when it's time to do family things, just family, right? But if there's too much monotony or too much, this is my, I personally
it fuels
don't
you.
like.
It fuels you. Yeah,
exactly.
work definitely. Yeah, I get you. Because like if you're not doing anything, then you're like, what should I do right now? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Or learning, like you said,
Yeah.
sometimes even with this new, and right now I'll ask you a little bit about that, but with this new podcast thing, this is something that these mics here I bought in 2019.
Yeah.
So I bought them, and then it was like, are we going to do video? Are we going to do just audio? And then COVID hit. The world shut down, and we couldn't be close to someone, and we didn't know. So I put these in my storage somewhere, and they were all dusty. And then this year I really I got on Christian, and I said, hey, I'm bringing it, and we're gonna do it, and we'll figure the rest out as we go, and it seems like it's been working. But we were talking a little bit before this. You guys both have also a podcast that you run, tell me a little bit more about that one. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I started mine actually right before COVID, or like 2 months before COVID, and I kept it going during COVID, but it was mostly all virtual. And I stopped the video and I went just all audio.
Okay.
But that one, I'll give a little bit of the secrets away. So like I really like automations, right? And like so one of the taboo automations that people don't talk about is like on Instagram you can get bots, right? And the bots will do like little triggers for you, like and unlike, follow and unfollow, right? The new ones are like they'll like the stories with the little hearts, and before they used to comment on them. So during COVID, I bought one of those bots, and I almost got my account shut down. But it was sending out all these messages to random people, and for my podcast, I got the original founder of the Tap Out brand. He's been on my podcast. I actually know him, so like I have his number. Like it's been really cool because like I got that off of that automation, which I would have never gotten before. I got some like personal development speakers that everybody thinks really highly of. Jesse LaFleur, he's a what's it called, stunt double. You know,
Okay.
but like he did like the I forgot what movie it was, but it was on The Mandalorian. He was one of the big Jabba the Hutt people or whatever. So like it was really cool, like getting to like interact. But like that's what the podcast is, right? Like to meet as many people as you can that you otherwise would have probably never have talked to.
Well, I mean, that's definitely good. What's the name of the podcast?
In for the kill.
In for the Kill.
Yeah, it was more of a mindset thing, right? Like
Okay.
it actually stemmed off of the marketing hunters because I was like, oh, what hashtag could we use for the marketing hunters, right? I was like, well, you're kind of killing something, right? So it's hashtag In for the Kill. That's the actual name of the podcast.
Cool. And how about yourself, John?
So mine's Open to Evolve. Mine was the purpose of it, and when I planned everything, I felt that like when you look at a Grant Cardone, at a Gary Vee, like sometimes it's hard to relate, and like you feel like, well, could I do that? They had a head start, whatever it is, right? You start making excuses because they're too far ahead. So what I wanted to do with Open to Evolve is bring stories of people that were kind of in the middle. They've had success, but maybe not as many people knew about them, or they're your local heroes, right? That just haven't had a chance to tell their story. And so I started interviewing people like Eric Gomez. I brought a lot of people like that have had success in their specific industry, and had them talk about like, hey, what was your mindset on getting here? What were the trials and errors? Like, what did you learn? What would your advice be if you had to do it again? And kind of just pick their thought patterns, right? And see what I can take from that. And it was fun. Like you said, I met a lot of cool people, and I got a lot of great feedback as far as like people listening to it and getting their own lessons that they took away from the podcast. So overall, it's a really fun experience, and definitely like a rewarding experience to be a part of the project.
Yeah. A little bit what I hear from both of you is the mentality aspect, right? The moment you want to bring people that are going to help people expand their mindset. Your podcast is a mindset podcast. Your podcast, mindset podcast. So how important, and I mean, for me, I can speak from experience, right? But how important is it for your mentality to broaden before, I mean, I'll tell you the story a little bit about this particular venture. We were talking about this office being my office, but when I first started in real estate, I hadn't sat for the builder, not one day, right? And I told my team, I said, we are going to be the exclusive listing agent for this builder, and I'm going to buy the office next door to the builder, and we're going to run a really, really, really clean operation eventually. This was year one, day one of real estate. I had Burley come on the team as just sitting for the model homes. My broker was, someone who now is a very well-renowned speaker here in El Paso and in other cities as well. And when my team, my inner circle, they said, yeah, we can do it. We're gonna do it, right? Everybody else who saw it was the typical David and Goliath, type of like, hey, you're the little guy, you have nothing. You're barely starting in real estate, and you're going up against someone who has 200 agents at the time, someone who has a multi-millionaire, has all of this. How are you going to do that, right? But what I understood was it had to fit here first before the entire world can see it, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, this building that we're in right now, a lot of people don't know, but it's the building next to Point Homes. But at the time, this building wasn't even for sale. This was, I think they used to sell DirecTV out of here, and it was just different office suites and everything. So the building wasn't for sale. The builder wasn't up for grabs or anything, but it felt like it fit in my mind that that's where it was going. Fast forward 5 years, we're the exclusive listing agent for the builder. Somehow this building became available, and I grabbed it, remodeled it and turned it into my office, my corporate offices now, and we just continue growing. So how important is mindset, in your opinion, before anything else?
Yeah, there was a point where I was making so much and I was learning still a lot, right? And then I was like, it doesn't matter what I learn anymore. And then I was like, something's missing, and I realized that it was like discipline. You know what I mean? And so when you start looking at like when you cap off at certain amounts of like money, it's really like, what are you lacking in your mind, right? And so like even conference, right? Same thing that you're saying. Like you're building, like you're like, I want that building and I want this and that, and we're like looking at this and we start talking about all this stuff, and then it just kind of starts putting into place one thing after another, But so much of everything that you do is just, do you have the right mindset for it? Because it's not that you're lacking like the correct action for it. It's just you don't have the right like attitude towards thinking that it could happen, So yeah, I mean that's kind of my viewpoint on it. It's like you can only go so far, and then once you cap off, it's like, what are you really lacking in your mind?
Yeah, I agree. And I think for me, it was you're limited to your environment, right? But you do have the ability to go and explore what other people think, what other people have done, their experiences. And I hate being told no. So like being little, like I come from a Hispanic household, being told no, like, hey, you shouldn't do that. You need to play it safe. You need, like that kind of advice. For me, mindset has been big because I think my ability to say like it is possible, like you said, think about like, you know what, one day, because the conference, if we backtrack to a couple years, my inner circle, I was telling, we're going to bring Grant Cardone one day. Like, right? It wasn't Grant, but we came close. Like I tell people, it wasn't Grant, but we came close right now. But it all started with an idea. Like you said, it was like, hey, one day this is going to happen. We're going to do this one day. And now fast forward, it's finally happening. But it came from us having the mindset and the ability to think like one day it will happen. So.
Awesome. Well, guys, it was definitely a pleasure speaking to you guys. Can I get the date for your event, please?
Yeah, it's July 13th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Starlight Event Center.
Starlight Event Center? Awesome. And where can people get tickets if they're looking to attend to this?
His name is John Rivas. No.
Yeah, so they can reach out to me directly if they want any more information. And they can also visit themomentconference.com.
Okay.
On there, we have the full lineup. You can get bios on the speakers. And then you also have the different ticket tiers. We do have general admission, VIP, and a CEO experience. The CEO experience is going to be great for anybody who's just trying to get connected with some of the higher network individuals in the city, and then kind of just build those connections. And then, of course, if you're someone that's just starting, general admission will get you in the room and just help you start getting around those people and start thinking like a lot of these successful people.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. I hope your conference goes really, really well, and we can continue doing this, man.
Thank you for having us. It was a great experience.
Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.